welcome to Upper Reach. My name is Laura Pearce and my family and I own and operate Upper Reach Winery in the Swan Valley. So we're delighted that you've decided to join us and you're going to get to know us better. We're looking forward to showing you our wines and finding out a bit more about you. So first of all, we talked about how you wanted to learn how to taste and enjoy wine like a professional. Well, that's easy. We can make that happen. So, first thing to do, get yourself a decent glass. You want a big sort of glass, one that you can get your nose in as well as you know when you're tasting. Depending how big your nose is, your glass will be a bit bigger. We're going to try our wines on three sort of things. We're going to evaluate it by sight, by smell, and by taste. So, first of all, give it a good swirl. The best thing to do when you're looking at wine, you're evaluating it by sight, is actually to have a look at it against a white background. So you can see it's got a lovely sort of deep red colour with a slightly purple tinge. If it was an older wine, it might be a bit sort of brown on the edges. When giving it a swirl, you can see generally sort of, they call them the legs sort of dripping down the glass. That gives you a sort of feeling for how alcoholic the wine is, how much alcohol. So the more legs it's got, probably the bigger, deeper intensity of flavour and richer it will be. Right, so let's give it a swirl and take a good sniff. We swirl the wine to aerate it because 70% of our sense of taste we really get through our nose. So the more we get air and oxygen into the wine, the more it will release its flavours so we can smell those flavours, and the more we can smell them, the more we can taste them. So when you do take a smell, as I say, have a sniff and don't be afraid to think about it. It takes a little while to get those, to get your brain going, and you really just describing the wines, just trying to describe the wines and putting words to those sorts of things that you smell is going to help you remember and sort of imprint that taste on your memory, and that's important. You're really looking for fruit aromas. I mean, wine is fermented grape juice, so basically it's going to taste and smell of fruit. So you don't need to name 10,000 fruits and flowers that you can smell in there. I mean, at the cellar door, that is something that we do quite well, I hope. And we'll go through them and give you a number of them so that you can sort of think about them, or you can look up wine notes online to get what the winemaker says. But really for you, when you're having a smell, just try and pull out a couple of key sort of smells. As I say, we're looking for fruit, so with a red wine you're going to get rich red berries, cherries, plums, maybe an unwooded style like our unwooded Chardonnay or Verdelho, you'd be looking more for tropical fruits, peach, melon, passion fruit, that sort of stuff. Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon tend to be a bit more sort of on the grassy, herbaceous side. There's also barrel smells, so you get those always in red wine. Pretty much all reds will be oaked, so aged in an oak barrel, and also our reserve Chardonnay, so a barrel fermented or an oaked Chardonnay will be. And those sort of oaky smells are, we use descriptors like toasty, cedary, coffee, mocha and vanilla. And the amount of those sorts of smells will really depend on what barrels the winemaker's used, how old they are, and how charry he's bought them. So that's part of that sort of winemaking art. But as I said, really just putting names to some of those smells is going to really help you. So finally, we'll get to taste it. So we'll give it a swirl. Again, I'm trying to aerate the wine. And then we take a sip, not a big, large swallow. And if you can face it, try and pull air through the wine. So it's like you're sucking a straw through the wine. So I'll do it. It doesn't sound great. So I also would have said swirl it around your mouth too, because there's different flavour receptors on different parts of your mouth. So the more you get that wine around the different bits of the mouth, the more different flavours you're going to get. A balanced wine will have all its flavours in proportion. Dry wines will tend to show a mix of flavours from the aromas, but also you're going to taste acid, tannin and alcohol, none of which really can be smelt. So that's sort of what makes up the taste of the wine. I mean, really what we want is all those flavours to be in balance. We want all the components to sit there nicely in the wine. Complexity is something else that we're looking for, and that's quite tricky. And as you get better at tasting, you'll get better at enjoying complexity of wine. Once you send it around your mouth and you swallow it, we're really looking for complex wines that dance in your mouth so that you've got those lasting flavours. So how long the wine, you can still taste the flavours after you've swallowed the wine, is probably a good beginner measure of complexity. I mean, with tasting wine, the more you do it, the more you'll enjoy it and the better you'll get at it. And I really wanted to give you just a 5-10 point quick guide to how to do it, to give you that confidence to have a play, to name a couple of things, and then to sort of start to develop your own style and enjoy doing that. So remember, we look at it, we swirl it, we sniff it, and we taste it, but we circle it in our mouth so we get the air in, and then we think about it. And ideally you have a friend that you can chat about it and decide, pull it apart a little bit and decide which bits that you love and, which bits you like, and get some good descriptors. And really that's how you taste wine, like a professional. Easy. I'm going to look forward to seeing you again soon.